Welcome to the Bradford v Tranmere Rovers match reaction. Let me know your thoughts on the game. And was Elliot Watt's red card a sending off? Let me know in the comments down below. So welcome to the Bradford v Tranmere Rovers match reaction. We did so well up until the last dying moments of the game, 90th minute. I think we conceded for 1-1. McManaman with a pretty good finish in off the post, but a heartbreaking finish for City fans. I'm pretty sure Tranmere Rovers fans who travelled in the numbers, I think 1,500, 1,700, so they came with a big following. We haven't seen many fans. I think Mansfield did it where they sold the away and behind the goal. So good following from Tranmere. They'll be going home happy with that finish from McManaman. I think they probably should have been going home with a defeat, because we sat back, we held our shape well after the red card, and we was tough to break down. And then it took one chance like that, but they finished it really well, and they went home with a draw, which I think Tranmere will probably build on with scrappy form, not really picking up many wins in the last few games, and sliding down at league table. And I think Tranmere, have to probably kick on with that draw. But back to City, I think it's another game that we've drawn when we probably should have won, and we just haven't took our chances. In that first half, we had plenty of chances for a goal. We created many opportunities down the wing. We had a good shape to us. We were wider than we normally were. We were normally quite narrow. We were shifting the ball out wide, retaining the ball well in midfield with Gilliard and Watt. Defensively looked solid, even before the red card. Cutting out play well, putting some good crosses into a box, and Cook rolling the ball up well. And you saw with the width out wide with Pereira, Vernon and Walker, the flair that they were showing, we looked really strong. And then the red card happened. Let me know if you thought it was a red. The first booking, I thought it was a bit harsh. The first booking, I can see why he's give it a booking. I wouldn't say it was reckless, but he reacted. But I feel like the Tranmere player probably should have got booked, because he was holding on to him after the ref blew his whistle. And then Watt reacted, 2 bookings, but he didn't, and Watt got the booking. And then for the second booking, I don't think that was a booking. I think it should have been a warning, if I'm being honest. I can see where you're coming from if you can say, yeah, it was a booking. But after just giving him a booking, normally they give him a warning and give him another chance, but straight yellow card. And he didn't really hesitate to give him it. It wasn't reckless, it was just a stoppage in play, broke down the play well. And yeah, I can't see that being a second yellow. Normally referees do give this player a bit of a chance, to resurrect himself. I think it was that type of game though in midfield where he probably would have got sent off anyway, getting another yellow card, because Walker came off with a yellow, and I don't know if Gilliard did. But it seemed like a game that the midfield were working hard, putting tackles in, and I feel like he probably would have come away with another yellow, because it was that type of game. But yeah, I think Tranmere did it once, a similar foul to what did in the for his second booking, and they didn't get booked. So I think it's just that annoys me, the consistency. If any Tranmere fans are watching, let me know your thoughts on League 2 referees in general. Have you had a referee? I'm sure you have had a referee that's not give your team the yellows or the reds that you would have wanted for the opposition. I think League 2 referees really need checking, because week after week at Valley Parade, especially, they are coming here and just ruining our chances of getting a win, because making stupid errors that just a 5-year-old would know what that foul was, and if it were booking or if it were red. And they just look to want to cause controversial decisions, because they're giving off stupid red cards and stupid easy penalties that is a pen and it ain't, and it's not just coming from the heart. of wanting my team to win. It's coming from just an obvious mistake from the referee, and every game we come off and we say, well, the referee should have done better in this decision, and he shouldn't have done that decision. Referees in League Two are terrible. They keep making decisions that I think 90% of football fans, well, I'll go there's a few delusional ones, but I'll go 75% of football fans would actually know if that's a foul or not. They could do a better job, and we keep singing "You're not fit to referee," and a lot of them are. They go through all these qualifications to try and get to refereeing, and they go and balls it up in a big game. And I think we've had a lot of draws that could have easily swung into a win. And again, another poor refereeing decision. But let me know your thoughts on the Elliot Watt decision. But he messed up with a few. Should have had a corner, but then I can see where the Tranmere fans would come from if they said, well, he probably equalled it up later on, giving you a few fouls that he might not have given if he didn't get the stick for the red card. But we had that red, then we sort of went a bit more defensive and we held our shape really well. We were tough to break down, and the one time Tranmere really did break us down and really had a proper chance at scoring. They did. They took it, and ruthlessness. That's what we haven't had. We haven't had that ruthless clinical edge this season, where we've had loads of chances to score and we just haven't took our chances. And I think today we had a few where we didn't take them, and it's cost us this season. And we've got to probably next season put that to bed and try and create chances where we are actually going to score. But onto player ratings, I think Bass had a solid game. I don't think he got fault for the goal. Distribution were pretty good. He looked pretty confident at coming out for the ball and playing the ball. So I'll give him a solid 7. Didn't really do much wrong. Could easily have come away with a clean sheet. O'Connor and Songo, 2 7s. I thought Songo was very good at coming out with the ball and playing the ball as a sweeper. And he did put in some good tackles. Same with O'Connor, putting some good tackles, and the whole back line gets a 7 because we looked really solid. We didn't look like we were going to concede until we obviously did. Hendry again 7, Rydal 7. Both were really good at going forward. Both created an extra option in overlapping for the wingers, and put some decent balls into the box at times. And Hendry got an assist for Walker's glancing header. So yeah, I'll give them both 7s again. Pretty solid defensively as well. Elliot Watt, he was doing well until he got sent off, and I think if someone gets sent off and you might not agree with it, or they did, you probably have to give them a 5 anyway, because they need to control their aggression a bit more. And I think Elliot Watt, after just getting booked, probably should have realised that, and probably he knows that he shouldn't have gone into that second challenge. Or maybe he knows for the first booking he probably shouldn't have thrown him to the ground. And I think your biggest critic is yourself, and he should know that coming away from the game. Gilead, I think he had a solid. I'd give him a 7. I don't think anyone had a bad game today, and we could have won the game. Gilead, he controlled the ball well when he had it. I think it was a bit of a Gareth Evans performance where he gave a lot of effort. He intercepted the ball a few times. He didn't really go flying in, as far as I know. But he just didn't have that quality going forward, which probably we needed in that midfield position in the first half. But in the second half, probably needed two defensive midfielders who would just sit there and not let anything past. But yeah, Gilead had a solid game. Jamie Walker, I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. Man of match for me. I think he dropped into that central midfielder role when we went down to 10 men, and he was really good in that position, flying into tackles, taking shots, passing the ball well, and he got his goal as well. So I think an 8 out of 10. He was really solid today, Jamie Walker. I think the sponsors give it to Songo. I can see where they're coming from, but I think Walker had the better game. Charles Vernon, I'll give him a 7. Just he had some good dribbles. Created some half chances for players, putting some decent balls into a box. He always looks like a threat. He always looks like he can skin the full back that he's up against, and he is someone who is one of our best players. And we do look better when we have Vernon, Walker, Pereira or Callum Cook all in the team. If you take one of those out for Callum Cook or one of those players out for each other, then we don't look like we miss them. But then if you throw Gareth Evans or Gilliard in for one of those four, we do look as not as good going forward. Pereira, 7, he could have scored a right goal. Skinned the defender, finessed it, but it just went over the bar, and he does terrify the defence. And I'd love to keep him next season. I think all City fans would. But he's just one of those players who, he's probably going to go to a League One or Championship club. Could even stay at Luton and fight for his place there. He will have a lot of options in the summer. The only problem I have with Pereira is I think he's injury prone. I think he's had 3 injuries already in 4 months. He hasn't been injured since he's been playing, touchwood, since March. But I'd love to keep him. But is he another player who's injury prone and won't play 75% of the matches in the season? And then up front, Andy Cook, I think he had a 7 out of 10. He were good. He didn't score, but I think the modern day striker now don't have to score. Just have to hold the ball up well, link play, create chances, and if they score, then it's a bonus. But I don't think Andy Cook's job is to score mainly. Obviously, it's nice if he does, but I think his main role is to hold the ball up, chase down every ball, press the defenders, and pass the ball well. And I think that's what he did. He had a good game. And Liango came on in place of him around the 70th minute. He had a brilliant chance at the end where he hit the post. It could have gone in. He did the keeper in his front post, and it could have been a 2-1 win. But it won't, and that's the thing we're missing. We're missing that clinicalness, like I touched on earlier, where we just need someone who can just put the ball in the back of the net and you can rely on. Like Newport have Telford, Forest Green have Matt and Stevens. We don't have that this season, and that's one of the biggest problems. Although Angol has been injured, I think he's scored one of the most goals for us this season as well, and he's had a couple of injuries. But yeah, that ruthless edge we are missing, and he should have scored that. It was a really good chance. Callum Cook, I'll give him an average 6. Didn't have much to do. So yeah, I can't really say out about Cook. Did anyone else come on? I don't think they did. If they did, let me know in the comments down below. But let me know your player ratings. Let me know your thoughts on the match, and should Elliot what have been sent off. And Tranmere fans, if you're watching, are you going to make the playoffs, or are you going to just finish outside? Let me know in the comments down below. Have a good one.